Yo, it's MartydudeVR and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Stride Face. So I reviewed this game some months ago, really last year, and it's time for a re-review for the PSVR2 release. Now, when I reviewed this game before, there was a lot of things I did not like, and I really didn't like the game that much because it was just so janky and buggy and had a lot of issues going along with it. Now, it's been 6 months since then, since that release, and the developers have been working on that version of the game, which was the Quest version, and this version, the Steam version, and all the DLCs being added to the game. Now, the PSVR2 version has the base game and one free DLC, and DLC 2 will come out at a later date. They said it's gonna take about 2 to 2.5 months to develop it. Now, what is Stride Face? This is essentially Mirror's Edge, but for VR. I mean, you get all the parkour, you get the high octane action, and you get a pretty decent story in the background. This game takes place in the slums of dystopian Iran City. So you play a spec ops officer in the elite police forces of Sky Chase. You have to deal with really bad gangs, family feuds, corporate secrets, and a lot of forbidden tech. Most of the places you'll be jumping around in this game are gonna be in skyscrapers. So it's really cyberpunk-esque, with a mix of that Mirror's Edge. So I can say that this game has improved strides, no pun intended, over the past few months. I mean, the voice acting is way better. The graphics are a bit better, but still kind of questish, but not to the point where it's a detriment to play. The melee has gotten better. It's still a little shaky and a little weird and very momentum based, but a lot better than it was before. The gunplay does feel really good. I do gotta say though, some of the gun holding does feel really awkward, especially with the shotgun and ARs, but the pistols are pretty much perfect. Even just going back to the graphics, I really do think this game could look a lot better on a PSVR 2. It doesn't feel like it's using foveated rendering to kind of make the game look better, but I have heard that implementing that foveated rendering has been hard for a lot of developers. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's not as bad as Hellsing when it first launched, but it's not as good looking as some other PSVR 2 games. But I get it because you're also rendering a lot of open world on, you know, a decent amount of compute. So, man, just a FYI before we get really deep into things, I did not do a full playthrough of the PSVR 2 game because your boy has been busy welcoming a new baby girl into the world. And honestly, guys, VR gaming has been one of the last things on my mind these past few months. And so this is not a full review, but this is a first impression / re-review of, you know, the previous experience. Now let's talk frame rate. So this game has a lot of high octane jumping and movement, wall running, and a lot of different things you have to do. I did find the frame rate to be really good on this game and really consistent. Bad frame rate can really kill PSVR games because of reprojection, but I didn't get really any reprojection in this game or any frame rate issues, so you don't have to worry about that when playing Stride Face. Good job to the developers, because I don't know why a lot of PSVR 2 games have issues with that, but this one does not. This is a smooth experience. If you're a person who gets motion sick a lot, you shouldn't have many problems in this game, and there is a lot of things to do. This game does also include a upgrade system for weapons, so you get a pistol, shotgun, and a few other weapons that you can get along the way, and you can also upgrade them pretty much in the mission select screen. So you pretty much just turn around, and then you can add a laser sight, suppressor, you know, a bunch of other fun stuff to your guns, and then use them while you're going through the missions. The mission structure is still, you know, the usual kind of waypoint, go there, figure stuff out. There are some puzzles that you can do and essentially, when you need to open a door and you have to hack it, you have to go through this parkour course through pretty much the metaverse. So you go through the parkour course, and these levels are really cool and really unique. And the grappling hook sections, and which I did mention earlier, is actual grapple hooks. So if you like grapple hooking in games, this game definitely has it. But those grapple hook sections are really fun, and you really feel momentum. I feel like that's one of the main things they improved on this game, is the real feeling of momentum when running around. Let's talk some more about the melee. So melee is really important in these type of games, and I have to say the actual punching is still not the best. It doesn't feel like it's fully fleshed out. It doesn't feel really weighty, and it's kind of feel like you're just swinging just a swing. Now, some of the actual melee weapons do have a bit more of a punch in them, but they really could do better. Now, I did notice that having high momentum or pretty much running at an enemy does help when it comes to getting kind of that crit damage you think, and there is way better stealth in the game now. So if you actually crouch behind an enemy, walk up to them and then hit them with the back of the neck with a knife, they actually die in one hit. So that's really good, because before that did not work the same way. So shout out them for actually fixing that. But just as a fun game, I feel like Stride Fates is really genuinely fun. Now, is it gonna be for everybody? No, but I think a lot of people will find enjoyment in the simplicity and the subtle complexity of Stride Fates. Like, I really enjoy running around in this game. I wish I had more time, obviously, to finish with a review, but you know, it is what it is. But if you're looking for a fun game on a PSVR2, I think this is good. It does have some minor things that I do hate about it, but I think those could be fixed with a few patches and maybe some, you know, TLC. Now, from the few missions I did play, I mean, the story is a story. It's not amazing, you know, but it's there. It carries you pretty much through the game, but there's a lot of these type of games that don't really have intriguing stories, right? Now, the voice acting being improved does grip me more in terms of making me actually listen to what the characters were saying, because before it felt like the voices are real AI. Now, it could have been lackluster voice acting, but man, it just did not do it for me. But now it feels like they kind of re-recorded some lines and it just feels a lot better. I could be wrong, but it does feel like the voice acting is just way better this time around. Finally, let's talk about the enemies. So there are some enemy types in the game. Some have shotguns, some have melee weapons, ARs, some of them try to hit you. There's even some with snipers. And then, you know, there's also bosses that you fight in the game. And they all have, you know, their own variety and special feel to them, while being still kind of very simple, kind of mobbish enemies, right? Personally, I feel like fighting them is really fun and really satisfying when you get good headshots or even decent melee kills. And later on in the game, you get some really cool weapons to use that can make the game feel really fun. Are they the smartest enemies? No, they're very dumb, but that's okay. That's okay in this type of thing because there's a lot of them. So even if they are kind of dumb, you gotta dodge a lot of enemies. But that being said, to kind of finish off the review, I think some of you guys will like Stride Fates. I think some of you guys will be kind of bored by it, but I do think a good bit of people will enjoy this game and see the good aspects of it. I can't wait to get those further updates and patches from Joyway, because the game really does need it, because there is a good little bit of jank still left over, but is a lot better than that first Quest version I played, trust me. If you enjoyed this first impression / re-review, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, and make sure you stick around for more content from your boy. I also did start a tech channel called Marty Codes, so go follow that up if you enjoy my content, and I really appreciate it. But with that being said, it's been with MartydudeVR, and just remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.